Hey guys, Yuliya here. So I recently came back from the Philadelphia Flower Show and I was really inspired by what I saw there. And I decided to share some of the footage that I took with you. Note, I'm not a videographer, so some of the footage is kind of shaky and like gets cut off in the middle, but I try my best. Now, the theme for the show this year is flower power, and it really shows. There was tons of flowers, tons of color, large number of display gardens, some like flower competitions, some plant competitions. So even if you're into house plants or flower arrangements, or you're working on your backyard, large or small, there are ideas for everyone. I believe the show runs through March 10th. And if you're in a neighborhood, you definitely should check it out. Now, I am going to do a voiceover over my footage because it was way too loud for me to kind of talk right on the spot there. So anyway, I hope that's okay, and let me get started. Now, I really love this formal garden because of all of the spring color. You can see the forsythias, hyacinths, daffodils, and it is really formal in the middle, and then on the corners it's actually quite wild with tons of tiarella and lupine, and you can see lamb's ears. So that informal part is underplanted under these flowering trees. And look at all of this color. Isn't this amazing? I really needed to see this after the winter. And you can see the beautiful fountain in the middle. And this is just a lovely, lovely design space. Now, this next garden is a native display, and natives are really important for gardens, and I really appreciated this. The tree in the foreground was a fringe tree, and the lighter blooming shrubs are actually native azaleas. Gorgeous. They had really cool water feature. It's basically a piece of stone drilled in the middle with water coming out. Now, this was an interesting garden. It had this industrial look, and as you walk through it, it becomes kind of eclectic. Look at these bromeliads. Oh, aren't they gorgeous? And then as you walk further, it becomes more rustic in its appearance. And I really, really love the water feature that they had there. I think it's pretty simple to make, but look at this. Isn't this so cool? This is the same garden looking from a different angle. I love the fun painted cold frames. Now, I think this was everybody's favorite garden because it had tons of spring color that we so crave at this time of the year. They were mostly tulips, but they had some hyacinths, and it had lots of warm colors and some purple, some whites. I love that they included some evergreen element to it. And the tulips were in kind of different stages of blooming because the show runs for 10 days and they needed to have the color last for so long. Now, I love this garden because it just proves that you do not need a large space to have a garden. This has pretty much everything. It has the plantings, it has a little walkway, it has a little seating area, and even the lawn. Now, this garden was displayed by Subaru, and this was all about sustainability, how to collect your water, how to support wildlife with birdhouses. I love the plantings. They were very simple, tons of angelonia, both purple and white, some switchgrass, and of course, hellebores. I mean, who would not want to have all these hellebores in their garden? They are just so pretty, and the border is actually made out of euchera. Just a lovely, lovely garden. Now, this was part of the larger garden that I did not like as much, but I liked this little part of it because it had a lot of cool colors like artemisia and lamb's ear. It had some mountain bluet and fothergilla. This is one one of my favorite color combinations, just really cool and calming. Now, this was one of their larger garden displays. It had a vegetable garden and a lawn and lots of perennial gardens. Lots of color. You could see lupines and lavender and daffodils, and some echinacea in the foreground. Just a beautiful use of space. It had a wonderful water feature, so it just shows you can have everything in the garden. This was one of the smaller garden displays, and I just love the color. There's some spring blooming cherries, curved lawn, some arborvitae in the background, and it had a deck and an arbor overhead. This is the same garden from a different point of view. Lots of color, beautiful. I like this garden because it had different elevations and also this beautiful water feature in the middle, and of course the soft grass. I think it was Pennsylvania sedge. Here's another example of a wonderful outdoor living. Just a little patio, beautiful feature with lights, some evergreens, different color flowers, tulips, there's variegated hydrangea. This is the same garden from a different perspective. Just a lovely little space to live in. I would love to just wake up in the morning and have a cup of coffee at that table there. Now, this was one of my favorite gardens. I just love the use of wood as a border and an elevation change, and also the uplit birches with some daffodils underneath and some evergreens, and some gazing balls. It was just so calming and serene. This was the other side of the same garden. Again, Corten steel water feature is still and calming, and there was some contemporary wood structures. And I think this was everyone's favorite element at the garden show because there are a lot of people taking photos in front of it. It's just a little truck with flower arrangement, but of course I really loved the birch tree right behind it. This was at the entrance of the show, and this is supposed to be a flower meadow that is hanging from the ceiling, which I thought was pretty cool. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll get a chance to make it to the Philadelphia Flower Show, if not this year, maybe next year. And if you have any questions, as per usual, post them in the comment section below. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.